Hey guys, this video is going to be a review of The Big Wide Calm by Marcello or Marcello. I don't know which way to say that name. So I was just kind of neutral towards this book. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't really enjoy it that much either. The main character, Paige, was not a likable character, and she's not meant to be a likable character. In fact, I disliked her a lot. But that being said, I don't need to like a character to like a book. Like, Wuthering Heights is one of my favorite books of all time, and I pretty much despise everyone in that book. So I don't need likable characters in order to enjoy a book. But Paige really did frustrate me as a character, and everything I felt, even kind of unlikable characters, you can usually find something in them that draws you to them, whether it makes them interesting or something where you can relate with them, or at least like one aspect that you like about them, even if you don't like them that much. And I didn't really have any of that with Paige. I was just kind of neutral towards her. I just disliked her, but I didn't even really dislike her enough to have really strong feelings for her. I didn't connect to her at all, and since this is a very character-driven book, it's not plot-driven at all. So not only did I not feel connected to Paige, I didn't feel connected to any of the characters in the book, and that kind of made the book just not that good. I just couldn't connect to it, and like I enjoyed the writing style of the book a lot, but actually story-wise, it's a very character-driven book, and I just did not care much about any of the characters. I will say one thing that really got me about Paige: she has graduated from MIT, and she talks about in the book how I think she only went to MIT because her dad wanted her to go, I'm pretty sure is what it was, but she didn't really want to be there, and she kind of complains, I don't guess, but there are a couple points in the book where like I just don't get. It's just like MIT, like this really kind of prestigious school, and she went there and she's kind of like talks down on it a bit, and I was just and doesn't seem to really like the people she went to school with. I think she calls them like, I can't actually remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure at one point she calls them like nerds, or references them as nerds or something like that, and like in a kind of disparaging way, and I'm just kind of like, you're talking down on people who go to MIT, but you went to MIT. And I guess that's just one example of how she's a really unlikable character, but it made no sense to me, and it was almost like some of the stuff was just there to make her unlikable, because I don't even know. Paige, I haven't really talked about what this book is about, and I probably should. Paige is an aspiring musician. She wants to be a rock star, and this guy named John offers to record her album for free if she lives at his house. And they have like a year, and he's going to help her because he used to be a musician, and it's kind of about that. So it's very, very focused around music, but it's also about Paige growing both as a musician and just as a person, and helping John and learning about his past. Other people come into the story and help like develop it, but it's primarily Paige and John's story, and the story of their relationship and how they both grow as people and all of that. But music is very, very important, and so I think the more into music you are, the more you're going to enjoy that aspect of the book. But I think pretty much everyone can enjoy the music aspects of the book, but obviously the more you're into music, the more you're probably going to be drawn to that. I don't know, I was really interested in the music aspect, but I just like the characters. I think that had a lot of potential to be an interesting point, and the music is very important in the story, and that's one really good thing I'll say about this book. I really like how the music is so interwoven into the story, and it's a very necessary part of the story. It's not something that's just thrown in there to be something cool, or a cool aspect of the story. Like sometimes I think these kinds of things can be. It is very, very important to the plot and very, very important to the characters. Pretty much almost every single character in this book is a musician, and their lives very heavily focused around music, and because it's a very character-driven book, because the music is so important to the characters, the music is very important to the story, and I thought that that was done really well, and I thought that that was probably the best part of the book for me, is how well music was incorporated into the story. But all of that being said, there was nothing really in the book that pulled me in and got me really interested. It's written as if it's like a very, I don't know, it's just, I feel like it should have been deeper than I felt it was. It's very focused on Paige and John's relationship, like I said, and it's like they're learning all of these things about themselves, and they're having like all of these big realizations, and it should feel bigger than it did to me. I just didn't connect to it. Maybe that's just me, and like other people could probably, I'm sure other people could connect to Paige and John a lot better than I did, but I didn't really, like, I don't know, like, I can't, they both felt very, John's rich for one thing, and then you have Paige, and this was another thing for me. This is very, like, kind of unbelievable that Paige just randomly meets John, and he offers to let her live at his house for free, and he has a ton of money, and, like, he gives her, like, a really nice car to use, and it's all free, and so they're very, it's like her struggle to become a musician, but there's all this stuff that's, like, just being given to her, and to an unbelievable kind of extent, I think, and that kind of took me away from the story too. Like, I just had trouble believing that all of this was actually happening, so there was definitely that as well. So the combination of just not connecting to it and not finding it believable, not connecting to any of the characters, like I said, it wasn't a bad book. I think whenever you kind of have books like this where you're kind of just neutral towards you kind of end up sounding more negative towards them than good when you talk about them, but there were, like, it wasn't a bad book. I just didn't like it that much, and I know that the review probably sounds more negative than how I actually felt, but I could see other people enjoying this book. I just kind of, I read it really quickly and it held my interest, it wasn't really a very memorable book, and I'll probably forget all about it, to be completely honest. So I guess that's the best way to describe how I felt about it. But I think that's all I have to say. So I will see you guys later. Bye.